One day. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Alright. Hey, Jasmine, you want to come over here and do this with me? She's doing it. Well, today, I'm going to be giving you a scary story remake. I pulled the camera down here, so I'm like, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. One day, a boy named Charlie Wackaweed was wishing on a star. He did not know that the wish he would be making would change his life forever. It was late one night when Charlie was looking at the stars. He had heard that if you wish on the first star you see, your wish will become true. So he spotted the first star that he saw and made a wish on it. He wished was whatever he said or did for it to come true. So for instance, if he said, "Let it snow," it would snow. Just a few days later, he was sitting in geometry class wondering about the test that he would have in about 5 minutes. When he got the test, he sat there wishing that he would ace the test. He took the test that was supposed to be very hard and thought that it was easy. He got it back and it was an A+. He was amazed because he had never had a test and aced it before. And this test was probably the hardest test that he ever taken. He asked all of his classmates what they had gotten on the test. All they replied AC plus or lower. Charlie was excited that he got a better grade than Chris, who was an A+ student. And Chris had made a C-. There was one kid that Charlie did not like. He wished that something bad would happen to him. The very next day, he was out of school. Charlie asked his teacher where he was. He said he was in the hospital with a very deadly disease. It came on him so fast, and none of the doctors have a cure. It is really weird. I have never seen anything like it. The very next day, Charlie heard the kid with the deadly disease had died. Charlie was upset about the whole situation. He knew that it was his fault that he had died, so he went to his funeral with sorrow and regret. He was at home alone late one night. All of a sudden, the phone rang. He ran downstairs to answer it thinking that it might be his parents. He picked up the phone and he heard the dial tone. Boop. He thought to himself, "That's weird." And sorry, Tobuskin. And then he went back up to his room, thinking no more about it. This happened several more times and still ignored it. Then all of a sudden, the doorbell rang. He went down to answer it, and again, thinking it might be his best friend Jared, he opened the door and said, "Hi, Jared." But then he noticed that no one was there. He thought to himself, "It must be those little kids that live down the street prank calling and ringing doorbells and running." So he then went back up to stairs to his room, thinking no more about it. Then there was a peck on the window. He was really starting to get kind of scared and curious. He went to the window, opened it, and yelled, "Get out of here, you crazy kids!" But still, he saw no one. Since it was starting to get really freaky, he decided to go and watch some TV. He flipped on the TV, and right then the power went out. He knew the kids couldn't have done something like that because he didn't have a fuse box. He now realized that the kids couldn't have done any of the other things, and he was starting to get really scared. He went and got a flashlight, and he saw red eyes across the room and was coming fast, very fast towards him. He all of a sudden went and heard a low, creepy but familiar voice calling, Charlie, 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 what? How could you do something like this to me? Charlie replied. Who are you? What do you want from me? I have no clue what you're talking about. The voice replied. You do know what I'm talking about, Charlie, you whack-a-weed. All of a sudden, it jumped out behind the shadows, and Charlie saw a beaten, flesh-removed kid that Charlie recognized as the kid that he wished that something bad would happen to. His eyes were blood red, and the flesh that he had left was purple and blue. Charlie was scared to death. He told the kid that he had never meant for him to be killed or even hurt. But he didn't believe him. Okay. The kid replied, now it's your turn to follow the pain and death that I have suffered. Then the kid took Charlie out of the house and tied him up to a tree. The kid then dug a hole, huge hole, and then united Charlie. The ghost said to him, I'm sorry that it had to end to this way, Charlie, but this is what you have to repay me by doing. Goodbye, Charlie. Then the kid threw Charlie in the hole and buried him alive. Whew. No one really knew what happened to Charlie Wackaweed until one day a clipping of the Senate appeared in the newspaper, telling what happened and who actually killed that kid that Charlie didn't like. I'm telling you now, be careful what you wish for. It just might come true.